Greetings, squirrel friends of the world. We have a Murdaugh update. So, some of you may have heard, some of you may have not, but this document just recently became available. So this was just filed on August 13th, 2024. Today is August 15th, 2024. And as you can see, it says received South Carolina Court of Appeals. So what do we have here? So we have the Supreme Court of South Carolina, some cool font here going on. The state versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh. And here's his appellate case number. Order. Appellant asks this court to certify the appeal in appellate case number blah, 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 for review by this court pursuant to Rule 204B, SCACR. So, as per usual, we are going to take a look at Rule 204B. Okay, so this is from the South Carolina Appellate Court Rules, aka SCACR, and we have here Rule 204B, certification by Supreme Court. In any case which is pending before the Court of Appeals, the Supreme Court may, in its discretion, on motion of any party to the case, on request by the Court of Appeals, or on its own motion, certify the case for review by the Supreme Court before it has been determined by the Court of Appeals. So essentially what this is saying is that, and this is what happened here, right? The Supreme Court decided on their own, before a decision had been made by the Court of Appeals, that they were going to hear this motion. So essentially, it's like bypassing the Court of Appeals and kind of going straight to the South Carolina Supreme Court. Certification is normally appropriate where the case involves an issue of significant public interest or a legal principle of major importance. The effect of such certification shall be to transfer jurisdiction over the case to the Supreme Court for all purposes. I'm going to read that sentence again. The effect of such certification shall be to transfer jurisdiction over the case to the Supreme Court for all purposes. Now, just to be clear, this is not everything relating to Alex Murdaugh. This is not all of the other cases that he has, and this is also not his initial appeal on the murder conviction. This is just in terms of this appeal of Justice Toll's decision regarding the courthouse Becky shenanigans and, you know, the interference by a public official and all that, right? So again, it's bypassing the appellate court, which is where it was at currently, and going right to the Supreme Court because they are taking over. They are large and in charge, as it were. So now we're going to jump over to the other rule. So this is going to be Rule 208A1, as cited in the order. So time for serving and filing initial briefs. Brief of appellant. Within 30 days after receiving the transcript, or if no transcript is ordered, within 30 days after serving the notice of appeal, appellant shall serve one copy of his brief on all parties to the appeal and file with the clerk of the appellate court one copy of the brief with proof of service. So now let's jump back to the order. Okay, so as we can see, that's exactly what it says here. Appellant shall have 30 days from the date of this order, right, as required by Rule 208A1. All right, so there you have it, guys. The Supreme Court is taking over the courthouse Becky shenanigans, and there's not been a date set yet for when they're going to actually hear this motion. But what we do know is we have this 30-day time period, right, during which Alex Murdaugh needs to have submitted his initial brief. So you better believe we will be covering that. I would imagine perhaps after they receive that initial brief, maybe they will schedule a hearing so that they can talk about when to put this on the calendar. We shall see, but we will be on the lookout for that initial brief. And as you can see, we have some fancy signatures here. Can't read any of them, but yeah, there you have it, guys. So that was just a quick little update on what's going on with this. And as always, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a squirrel, and see you on the next video.